one.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Lotus Chat episode 89, Opening Your Heart to Love. And on today's episode, we have our wonderful Lotus lady, Zian.
Hi.
So, yes, we are so glad to be here with you today. And I know it's been a while since you've seen us, but yes, we are still here. And we are really excited to get into this topic with all of you because I'm sure that either you may be experiencing this very important question or you've heard friends, loved ones, have the same thought in their head about, can I really open myself to love? And if it's for the first time, can I really do it for the first time or do it again? So, great topic. And first, we are going to, of course, define based on our experience and what we know so far in our lives, what is love? Like, we're going to define that for you. And again, for all of you out there, we know that many of you have your own definition of what love is to you. And we invite you all to comment down below what you think love is, what love means to you. That it's a very important question to ask ourselves through life and through even, the experiences we have with people and what we value when it comes to love. So, Zian, let's go ahead and start with that question. What is love to you, Zian?
Love to me is complicated. Love to me is a lot of effort to maintain that love. And I think that effort comes from both sides. And to me, love takes time. That's what love is to me. What about you?
Oh, Zian, I'm really glad that you answered it that way because yes, love can be a bit complicated, I would say. And
Mm,
again, I'm only saying, this is my definition of it based on my experience of it in my 4 decades of life. And so what I feel love is for me, love is a verb. It's an action word. And I know it's something that I've fallen into really quickly before. And again, we're talking about love in the context of romantic love, love
yeah.
with, significant other, that type of relationship, a very intimate one. And I know some people may tell me and have told me that I should not fall in love too fast.
Mm,
And my experience today has really, as in up to today, has really shown me
mm,
that it's actually really good to kind of let yourself fall into it as naturally and as, slowly as feels comfortable to you. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I know I've read so many books on love and heard so many, influencers,
mm,
writers, people who have studied, relationships and the dynamics of love. And one in particular, I know there's a particular quote that I heard the other day by Jay Shetty who said, "Don't fall for someone before they're ready to catch you." And I thought,
How
wow,
would
like
you
that
know
is a
that?
right. It's a very I actually saw it as one of his posts not too long ago, and he was basically explaining about falling in love and what it, the steps and the things that you should really ask yourself and
Mm,
really reflect on when you are in a relationship with someone or considering being in a relationship with someone.
mm,
And as since I mentioned that love is an action word, a verb, I also feel that love is a co-creating type of thing when it comes to partnership. You should be able to co-create with the partner or the person that you are considering being in this intimate, loving, whole person type of
mm.
relationship that you are in or considering. And I feel it also starts from within us because I feel that your how you define love sometimes is really affected by your environment as you grow. Because some of us, we're born into an abundance of love, and some of us may have felt that there wasn't enough of it. Some
mm,
of us may have had great examples of what it means to be in a loving relationship, and some of us may not have those examples around us, or maybe have really, I'm going to say this, sometimes you can lose faith in love because you see what's
mm.
around you.
Yeah,
So for me, that's why I feel love is a verb. I think you have to choose that person every single day. If you really love them, you choose that person every single day.
yeah. It's a lot of effort, and love is sometimes a decision, like you decide that this is something
Yes.
that I want to do it, I want to do. And I think you mentioned previously that maybe some people out there who's listening to this could be feeling that I'm not sure if I can do this again. Love is tiring. It's so like, can we do this again? I think when we reach to that point, it just simply means that you need a break. For me, I think love shouldn't be a chore. It should be something that's easy. It should be something that's just flowing, and not something that it's like a to-do list. It's not something that we tick off because it's a feeling.
No,
Yeah,
I agree with you. I think overall that once love starts to feel heavy and love
yeah,
starts to feel almost like you are in it for the wrong reasons, whether
yeah.
it's, stability, security, whether you're in it because other people say it looks good, or
Mm,
it's like what your family or your friends or whatnot, or there's something external to you that is telling you that, yeah, you should keep doing this and be
yeah.
in this relationship because it works for everybody involved, it works for everyone
Mm,
involved. I think that's when you realize, am I really in a loving partnership, or am I in something just because, quote unquote, it looks good?
mm, yeah.
Um, I think overall, that's when you start asking yourself that very important question, like, if you are really going to take a chance on this and really going to, go all in and love this person, and this person is going to be the one that you're going to be in this, extended partnership with, whether it's for a year, whether it's for a couple months, whether it's for years and years and years, and you decide that you in your mind
Mm,
have said, this is my person. I think you really just have to think like, am I in this for the right reasons?
mm,
And that takes us to our next question, Zian, about like with people who have said like, can I open up to love again, whether for the first time or again, um, that you were asking. And I really would say this to a friend, and this is exactly what I would say to a friend who would come to me and ask me, can I do this again? Or can I really open myself to love if I'm like have issues with trusting or issues with opening myself up to someone? And I would say, when you feel ready, and only if you feel ready is when you should start opening yourself up to that.
mm.
Now, I'll have a lot of people out there say, well, sometimes love finds you when you're not looking.
Yeah,
Very
that's so
true. And
true.
yeah, and I've had that happen to me a few times where I literally said, that's it, I'm done. I told all my friends, I said, I'm done. I'm not going to do it again. There's no point because I'm just going to end up hurt. Or I, came out of a
Mm,
10-year relationship, and why would I want to do that again? And I remember I had literally been, it was a couple of months after I'd gotten out of my 10-year relationship with my fiance, and I was out with friends and I was telling them, like, I'm just so tired. Like you said,
mm,
Zian, I was like, I'm just so tired. Like, I just need a break. And sure enough, within a couple of months of me saying that, I got myself back out there because my friend said, do it. And I met this amazing guy. And it was like, yeah, like sparks. It was like, I wouldn't say love at first sight, but it sure as heck was very close to that. And like I've
mm,
been telling everybody, it's like sometimes love will find you, but then I will say this little disclaimer note for everyone, that sometimes we can confuse attention or physical, desire, connection with love. Now, I
What's
will
the
say that
difference?
exactly, right? It's a difference. So when you are in love with someone, or you are in that love relationship, there is a thing called connection. The
Mm,
connection that goes beyond the physical. That is that where you know that this person, no matter how they look, no matter what is going on, no matter what happens in our lives, I still love this person. This
mm,
person can get gray hair, lose their hair, get, older, and, you could just like look at this person and be like, an older version of this person and still look at them and say, I love that person.
Mm,
That is when you know it's the connection, the relationship that goes beyond physical connection. It's like on a soul level. That's when you know it's love. When you know that no matter where they go or what happens, that you two, it's like we're in this together. We're in this
mm,
for the long run. And that person says the same thing to you. And I, again, 4 decades of life, many relationships later, and I have learned so much through the people I've met and the experiences I've had in love with a person. And I have been in love more than once. And for those of you out there who feel like you can't again, you absolutely can fall in love again. And you
mm.
absolutely can find that connection that is on a soul level because I have found it more than once. And sometimes, though, like I said, you don't fall for someone before they're ready to catch you. Sometimes the other person may not be ready.
Mm,
Sometimes that other person still has multiple layers that they need to unfold within themselves to figure out what it is they want or who they want or what type of life that they want. And you are
mm,
already at that point where you're like, well, I already figured it out. I know what I want. I know where I want to go, but that person isn't there yet. It does not mean that this person is going to be your one and only. And Deanne, before we run out of time, I did want to discuss that whole idea about the one. I know we've said it, in other Lotus Chat episodes, but for those of you out there who feel like, when you fall in love with someone, it is the one. What is your
mm.
concept like of that? Like, what do you think about that word, those words, the one?
I think knowing that this person is the one is something that you can only feel with your heart. It's not something that you can, think about it intellectually. It's more of a feeling, It's that deep connection that you know that it's a very strong base of friendship to me and a deep connection, like you say, on the soul level that you actually know it like in your heart.
100%. I agree with you 100% with what you just said, Deanne, about it being a soul connection and you know it in your heart. You're right. I you are you touched on the fact that when you know it and you know that that person can meet you at a soul level, it
Mm,
is definitely like at another level than just, a physical connection or one based on attention or
mm, mm.
immediacy, in other words.
Yes,
I
yes.
I think that many of us should start kind of thinking outside the box about what the one means to us and what love means. And in that way, you kind of help your mind see whether or not you're ready or whether you still want to, as Deanne said, take a break, take a
Okay.
breather, take time for yourself. And then when you're ready, you're ready. But if love finds you, just know, in my case, I was not expecting it. And to this day, I still believe that it's possible that those type of moments can happen. But make sure that that other person's ready to catch you before you make the move. So, Deanne, any other last words for our viewers, our
Yeah,
listeners?
I guess my last words is don't fall in love for the sake of falling in love.
Ooh, clap, snaps to
Yeah.
that, Deanne.
And so if you've been following us, we really appreciate you. And if you like what you're seeing, so click like, subscribe to our Lotus Chat channel, both on YouTube and Spotify. And we shall see you next week. Signing
Absolutely.
off.
Signing off, guys.